Give me some Ingram. It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Mark Ingram, fresh off a big performance a weekend ago, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 24, and that's where the play began, the 24-yard line. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now it's Ingram. And an alley to run. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram, he goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield, although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence. Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. A very solid gain of 27.
Want me to jump in on your partner, but they didn't waste any time getting downfield, did they? I mean, a nice big play there.
3 plays, 3 successful plays in plus territory. Now this defense on its heels a bit.
It seems like they had something targeted there, doesn't it? It's like, okay, we've got a matchup we like coming right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and get right to it.
And he will find Hurst in the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens. Hayden Hurst, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A 77-yard punt return. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting on kickoffs. Punt return almost equally exciting.
And typically we talk about the kickoff return being the most exciting 10 seconds in football. Let's just cut it in half for a punt return and make it the most exciting 5 seconds in football. It's a great, glamorous, dashing play.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
From midfield here, Dalton. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. So Dalton now. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of the story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what did you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Here's Dalton. And that is incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Mark Ingram now gears up to help lead this offense back out there. And we check the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
To the right side and complete to Hurst. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After one, a 14-3 ball game. Jackson on first down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
The throw here to Andrews, the tight end. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. That'll bring up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. They'll try and run with their fullback. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play. Who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you've got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses.
It's
and
rare.
excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1% coming into 2019. He's incredible.
Let's go!
Getting ready to go again. Here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
From the 29, Dalton. And some room to run now. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Now Dalton. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. And it's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throw from Dalton, taken in by Eifert. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free, please.
Bengals drive about to get going. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down. Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. This is Mixon on the draw. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Dalton now to pass. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time, but it'll be 2nd and goal. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit. And he's got his big tight end, Eifert, and it's a Bengal touchdown. Tyler Eifert, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer. No surprise there, 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy.
Complete to Tyler Eifert. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Randy Bullock lining up for the point after.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Bullock good on the extra point, and that cuts the lead to 24-10. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it ends with a Bengals score. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And we shift our attention to Mark Ingram. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Ingram again, a first down carry.
Just like that.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Throwing is Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And off the crossbar, no good. A sensational effort from that distance. but rejected by the bar. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Well, later tonight, we have more football. Sunday night football, a good one out west. Steelers and Chargers might see equal amounts of black and gold mixed with a powder blue in the stands for that one. And then tomorrow, Monday night football, Detroit and Green Bay battle in the NFC North from Lambeau Field. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. Andy Dalton now 9 of 17 through the air. Not a great percentage, but it is 1st and 10. Now Joe Mixon, and able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. From the 41, Dalton over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Throwing, Dalton. And Eifert has it. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Give them 17 at a Cincinnati 1st down. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off near the 29. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 25 yards there on the catch and run. For Lamar Jackson, his first NFL start came against the Cincinnati Bengals November 18th in Baltimore of last year. And he threw for 150 yards, ran for 119 more as the Ravens won 24-21 to kick off what became a 6-1 final stretch that got him the AFC North title. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here's Jackson to throw. Roberts got it. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Jackson now. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Well, maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space as you said, for it to curl in.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Jet sweep, Boyd with it, and an alley to run. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. And he is finally brought down at the Ravens' 24. So they dig a little deeper in the playbook there, get the wide receiver the ball, running it, and it proves fruitful.
Love the call. When you've got a guy who has running back skills, you want him to touch the ball as well, not just out wide where you throw it to him. Make sure you hand it to him or toss it to him and let him go to work.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Mixon, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Back now in Baltimore. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. Mixon with a first down carry. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13 from the gun to give to Mixon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. 3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? Got a man open. It's Ross. And they will get to him at the 7 and stop him short of the first down marker. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Andy Dalton.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well. But
and it'll be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. It's a foot race. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 20, 10, and he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Bengals drive about to get going. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this run.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going.
Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Touchdown!
So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Let's go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Finding Green complete. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Green last year had the lowest numbers of his career output-wise, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. But, of course, there was a reason for that. He was battling a toe injury the second half of the season. And, boy, did the Bengals miss his presence. They limped to the finish line, losing 7 of their last 8. They are happy to have him back and healthy. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This will be 3rd and 5. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all. And now they're looking at 3rd down here. Passing. It's Dalton. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Bring it. Bring it.
The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, they'll run with Ingram.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Dalton here from the gun. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. He gets this one to Boyd. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Another chance for Dalton. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Brandon Carr. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Give me some Ingram. It's the coach. You're watching Madden football on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Mark Ingram, fresh off a big performance a weekend ago, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25. 5-yard line.
Green 80! Let's go, D!
Now Wilson on first down. And his first look is incomplete. And one of the big bodies helping out this offense is your boy, Upati.
And all he wants to do is have running plays called. Fire out and smack people.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And here's Wilson to throw again. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, give yourself a beat.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Pernell McPhee, always a threat to find the QB, and he gets to him there.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board.
At their own 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. A look there at Ingram's numbers from a week ago. 7 carries, 84 yards.
And when you lead the league in rushing for this stretch of time, now you take on the identity. You now lead the team, and everything runs through you in terms of offense.
And now a carry here for their fullback. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Well, to me, that's taking a big gamble defensively because that alignment you see, that's normally something you see down near the goal line. Because now, if they decide to go play action, something should be open there, and I think open big.
So maybe that's something that gets filed away for later.
I think without a doubt, you write it down, and if you see that look at a later date, go ahead and take your shot.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. 3rd and long, it's Wilson, and that is incomplete.
Wilson's pass intended for Dixon. Incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know how we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone? Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
This is Ingram. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A first carry now for Kenneth Dixon. He'll get only a couple down to the 44. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. Now Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, this is a guy who is already among an elite group of kickers that have hit from 60-plus in an NFL game, but that's a tough ask to try and get him to produce another one here.
You're exactly right. It's elite group for a reason, isn't it? No small feat for him to hit it from that distance. This one doesn't go through. I always marvel at those guys because it's the same approach every time, the same smoothness when they swing their leg. Doesn't look like they're putting anything extra even when they're kicking it for 60-plus.
No score after one on EA Sports.
Green 80.
On second down now, it's Carson. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. There goes Mark Ingram. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Ingram, 98 yards, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. The game had been pretty uneventful offensively until that big strike.
No doubt about it. Almost felt like they were just going back and forth a little bit in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, things ramped up a little bit. Things jumped up. And you're exactly right. Going to make a highlight film or two. We'll be watching that one later on today.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Well, a couple of good division battles coming up in primetime this weekend, starting tonight with Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Then tomorrow on Monday night, it's the defending champs, the Patriots, on the road at MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. Two not to miss to close out Week 6. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The Seahawks on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. A carry now for McKissick. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll toss it out to Carson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. And it's actually been out of the backfield, handing the ball off where they've had a lot of success. So if you're the quarterback, do you just maybe say, you know, maybe this isn't my day, our running game's going so well, you just continue to lean on that?
I agree. That's exactly what you do. And you have to kind of take your ego and put it aside, because you always think your next throw is going to be your best throw, right? Your next play is going to be your best play. Lean on what's working for you right now. That should help carry your team to victory if things keep going in the direction that they are.
Yeah, because the formula has them the lead currently. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. Second year with the Ravens for Hurst. He didn't have the rookie season he was hoping for, just 13 catches. Remember, he's older than the average second-year player. He spent 2 seasons as a pitcher in minor league baseball before hanging up the glove and heading to the gridiron. Now he says he's more determined than ever. Put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason. Says he's on a mission with a lot to prove this year. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from him. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. This from 25 yards out. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
Chris Carson trotting back out there. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. That's complete into the hands of Carson. The third down run gets him nothing.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now Brown. We have hit halftime. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10. Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Throwing is Jackson. To the right side and complete to Hurst. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
He uncorks it for Snead. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead, his 5th touchdown now on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Wilson, the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He will find the rookie from Ole Miss. That's DK Metcalf. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. This complete to Lockett. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Throwing is Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game, but that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Now it's Jackson. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. That's Ziggy Ansah, the number 5 pick in 2013, credited with a sack. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Snead's got it. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Well, Snead figures to be an important veteran presence for Lamar Jackson. 2 years ago, it was a disappointing 2017 for Snead. That was in New Orleans. But then had a bit of a bounce-back campaign a season ago in his first go-around with Baltimore. 62 catches, 650 yards. Did have surgery in the offseason on his left index finger, but back to full health and ready to go. This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. I was just confused on that one. I had 3rd down written. It said 3rd down on the scoreboard. Do you think the sideline lost track? Maybe they thought it was 4th?
Something went haywire, and I'll admit it, I've lost track of downs before, but I'm not the one calling plays. I'm not the one keeping track here. They have to know this. And look, I love my football north of the border as much as anyone, but here it's 4 downs. All right, I can't believe they tried it that way and then went ahead and faked it as well. Nothing doing.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here's McKissick. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. And he'll take this one up to about the 6-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one, because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Watch the pass.
To throw is Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Jackson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jaron Reed able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Throwing on 3rd and long. Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Got it complete to Rodgers. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready?
Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Jackson now. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Ingram again. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson. And he floats one there, incomplete. The linebacker Bobby Wagner able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
That's just flat out a terrific play because it's rare that you see a hitch route batted down. That means someone read that one really well and was right on the spot when the ball got to the receiver.
And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
You know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2.
We got this.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
Tucker's kick is good. And that will up the score now. It's 23-zip. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. That last catch winds up costing him 3, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd and 13. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently, so that's just going to be an incompletion.
No game on this defense, no game.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And he's got the hook up to Moore. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a 1st. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens are going to get the football back. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Well, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Scouting points are earned every week. Use all of your points because a portion of the remaining points will be lost when you advance the week.